Hello again, friends. So having done many videos on career, finance and money, where I have given you specific techniques that you can use in the chart instead of just philosophical mumbo jumbo or just theory or the deep knowledge which is required. Of course, I'm a great supporter of that. However, at the end of the day, you need to see the charts, yours or others. So whatever is the purpose, you want to see your chart or others, we are going to do relationship and marriage today. And as usual, what you guys expect from me, I will deliver today, and I'm going to give you specific technique that you can use in the chart to tell how the person is in a relationship, what are the priorities of the person whose chart you are seeing, and how the marriage is going to be, okay, how the relationship will work out for that person. And we will also try to tell quite a lot with full confidence about the person with whom the relationship will happen, with whom the marriage will happen. So relationship and marriage, these two terms are really very cultural. Okay, I mean, in a country like India, where a live-in relationship is not that prevalent, though these things are changing, at least in urban India. However, it is definitely not as common as it is in the Western cultures. And within Western cultures also there are a lot of differences. We can't put everyone and everything in one basket. Okay, so well, anyway, again, as you guys know, I don't get into too much of philosophies, so I'll keep up that tempo. So what are we going to do here today in relationship and marriage? We will use something very rarely used for this purpose, and that thing is Panchanga. Panchanga is nothing but the Vedic calendar, a calendar which is used in ancient India, and even now also it is used mostly in electional purposes to find out good time and date to do some auspicious things. Okay, so Panchanga is a 5-dimensional way to define date and time. Okay, it has 5 legs, wherein we identify a specific date and time. Okay, so this session is not about Panchanga because it itself is quite larger in scope. What we'll do today is we will focus on this term called Tithi. That's a Sanskrit word which means the weekday. I beg your pardon, the day of the month, the date. That is what we are going to focus on today, because this part of Panchanga, this just one part of Panchanga. There are 5 parts of Panchanga, I just told you. This part called Tithi in Sanskrit, translated to the date of the month, is going to tell us about relationship and marriage of that person. How many times have you heard that before? Have you? We are always obsessed with 7th Lord and 7th house, isn't it? Or Venus. Well, in some Nadi Jyotish, of course, in a female native's chart, Mars is taken as husband, and many Parashara, mainstream Parashara astrology itself, Jupiter is also husband in a female native's chart. So we are not talking about those things here. All we are talking is very simple, very clear, very mathematical way to look at relationships. Yeah, there is no satire here. Relationships can be looked at mathematically. We'll see how today. Okay, so a bit of mathematics now. Let's understand what is Tithi, then we will understand why Tithi, then we will look at how to use Tithi. Okay, step by step. Only then you'll understand the whole thing. Cool. So Tithi, what is Tithi? Rather, the larger question should be, how does ancient Indian culture define the date? Okay. So for that, we have to understand Tithi. Tithi is nothing but the relationship between the divine mother and father, sun and the moon. Obviously, sun being the father, moon being the mother. Okay. In the 360-degree zodiac, sun is not moving but earth is moving, so we say sun is moving because we are stationary looking at the sky from earth, geocentric view, remember. So we'll say it like this: sun is moving and moon is moving. Okay, so in a 360-degree zodiac, whenever moon moves 12 degree away from sun, that is one Tithi. 360 divided by 12, if you do the simple maths, it comes to 30. 30. How many dates are there in a month? Right, 30. So, let's say in the zodiac, not the best way to draw zodiac, but you get the point idea. Let's say sun and moon both are here. Okay, and moon has moved because moon moves faster than sun, that is earth, so we say sun. So moon is faster than sun, so say moon is here, then at some point it will be here, at some point it will be here. So every, with respect to earth, this is earth, so every 12 degree of angular distance, how much apart they are, how much distant they are. So every 12 degree of distance is a Tithi. Okay, so there are 30 Tithis because there will be 30 12 degree of the piece of the pie of the entire zodiac. There are 30 degrees of fragments in the entire zodiac of 360 degrees. Okay, so every 12 degree distance between sun and moon is a Tithi. So what exactly is Tithi telling us? A Tithi is giving us how on a given day, a Tithi is telling us how on a given day sun and moon were, how the divine parents were with each other. So it captures the relationship that is the basis of the entire creation. Okay, so our parents are just reflection of that creation process. Okay, so we'll stop on philosophy on that. Okay, so we know that Tithi defines the relationship, the divine relationship between the sun and the moon. That is why the word relationship in human lives. Okay. Second important point I want you to keep in mind is these 5 elements are not by coincidence. These 5 elements are the units of creation of this universe. And in Panchanga, this 5 is also not a coincidence. Each one of these dimensions of this Panchanga or the Vedic calendar is equivalent to one element. This guy, Tithi, since we are focusing only on Tithi today, is the water element, the Jala Tattva. The water element, and water we know is emotions. Moon is water element planet. It's an emotion. So the emotional relationship between the sun and the moon at a given point in time, captured by the 12 hour of arc, 12 degrees of arc, is Tithi. So now you know why Tithi for relationships, because of all the 5 elements in a Vedic calendar called Panchanga. Tithi is the water element, and that's why it captures the emotional side. That's why it is about relationship and marriage. Okay? Cool. So now we know what is Tithi and why Tithi. So 2 steps are done. Step number 3. How do we use Tithi in relationship and marriage? Now look at this table, which I have already drawn for you. What I have done here is I have written the number in sequence. I have written 15 and I have written question mark instead of 15 here. So there are 15 placeholders or 15 places which are arranged like this. What does this mean is very simple. In Hora we don't use Rahu, but in Tithi we use Rahu. Okay? I don't want to get into reason at this stage, because I didn't want this video to be very long. Okay? So that is also going to be philosophy. So no philosophy, as I don't want to get into that now. So there are 8 planets used in Tithi. Obviously, the head, the father, sun, and you see that it comes like this. First, this is called Pratipada. Dvitiya, these are Sanskrit words. Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti, Saptami, Ashtami, Navami, Dashami, Ekadashi, Dwadashi, Trayodashi, Chaturdashi. Question mark. Cool. So now, first date of the month, that is when sun and moon are exactly together, and when moon, because it is faster, starts moving away from sun, so the first 12 degree is called Tithi first, Pratipada, maybe Prathama, some people call it Prathama. So Pratipada first, that is number 1. That is ruled by planet sun. So every Tithi, as you can see, has a ruler, planetary ruler. So every relationship between sun and moon is represented by a planet, one of these 8 planets. Ketu is not used here. Okay. Similarly, once the moon crosses the first 12 degrees, it goes to second date, second Tithi, which is ruled by moon itself. And once it crosses the next 12 degrees, which would be 24 from sun, it goes to date 3, which is ruled by Mars, and so on and so forth, as you can see in the table. Okay, Panchami is ruled by Jupiter, Shashti is ruled by I've written Friday here by mistake. It should be Venus, beg your pardon, because this is the order of the week. See what English education does to us. Venus. So Shashti is ruled by Venus. This is the order of the week. We all know that. Okay. Why it is so? Well, in Hora, I've given you that in the session on Hora. So not getting into it now. This is the order of the weekdays. We all know that. Just you include Rahu at the bottom. Okay. So now you know which date is ruled by which planet. So after 8, this is ruled by Rahu. It goes in the cyclic fashion. So again 9th, that is Navami, that is 9th relationship from after this separate, the sun and moon. That is again ruled by sun. And the same cycle goes on. So 10th is ruled by moon, 11th is ruled by Mars. So the Sanskrit names are Dashami, Ekadashi, Dwadashi, and so on and so forth. So now coming to the question mark. the 15th day. The 15th day is ruled by Saturn when the moon is in the growing phase, waxing moon, the bright moon, Shukla Paksha in Sanskrit. When they are together, that is the new moon day, Amavasya, and after that the new month starts, so we count it from first. This is the waxing moon, the growing, the brighter moon, or the Shukla Paksha in Sanskrit. So in the growing moon, the 15th day, the growing half of the moon, the 15th date, the 15th tithi is called Purnima. So I will call it B, brighter moon. So brighter moon is Purnima. So one can write it like this. B15. That means brighter half, 15th day. This is called Purnima. That one is ruled by Saturn. And after that, it again resets to 1. There is no 16. There are 15 in brighter and 15 in darker side of the moon. So after 15, the counter of the date resets to 1. So this again goes to Sun. That means Prathama or Pratipad again goes to Sun. However, this time we would say it is the darker side. After the full moon or Purnima, the moon starts reducing. So we call it reducing side or the darker half of the moon. So we can use the word D to indicate D15. This is going to be Amavasya. Okay. This is obviously the new full moon. This is the full moon and this is the new moon. Full moon, new moon. Okay. So after this new moon, everything starts all over again, right? The new month has started. So first, second, third, and till 15th we go. So in the first 15, this is ruled by Saturn, and it is Purnima or full moon. Then it resets again in the darker side. The same sequence is followed. The same rulers apply. However, in the last 15th day, which is the 30th day of the entire month, so the darker 15th day, that is D15, which is new moon day, that is ruled by Ram. Last day of the month, that is the 15th day of the darker side of the month, is ruled by Rahu. That is the only difference. That's why I put question mark here. Because 15th in the brighter side is ruled by Saturn, but the darker side it will be ruled by Rahu. Rest 14 days are same. The same cycle repeats whether in the darker side or the brighter side. So we are clear about this thing, about what is Panchanga, basically at the definition, and what is Tithi and why Tithi is useful for relationships. Now you are thinking, why I am not talking about relationship and marriage? Now I will talk about it because this knowledge we have. Now, very simple, because this is just 2 minutes technique. Okay? Look at your charts. Look at the basic information of your birth, the birth details. See what is the Tithi you were born at. Okay? It will have written something like Dvitiya Krishna, Dvitiya Shukla, Tritiya Krishna, Shashti, Saptami, Ekadashi, Dwadashi, Purnima, Amavasya. So they will use the Sanskrit word for in your horoscope. If you see, even the beginner level, you should understand this now, that whatever is the Tithi is written in your birth details. Just look at it. When you look at the date, you know which planet controls that date, the Tithi. So let's say you were born on Dwadashi, 12th. It doesn't matter at this stage whether it is in the brighter side or the darker side. I just explained to you how 30 months are categorized, how 30 days in the month are categorized. So Mercury rules your Tithi if you are born on Chaturthi or Dwadashi. Anyhow, brighter or darker doesn't matter. Krishna Paksh, Shukla Paksh doesn't matter for this technique. Okay, that is in advanced studies. Okay, the difference would come into play. But for what we are doing today, that doesn't matter. So let's say Dwadashi. Someone is born at Dwadashi. So which is the planet? Now this table tells you the planet is Mercury. So Mercury is the most important planet for your relationship priorities. Has someone told you that? I am telling you this now. Check this. Look at your main birth chart, the Rashi, the D1 chart, and see where Mercury is placed. If you are born in Chaturthi or Dwadashi, if you are born in Shashti or Chaturdashi, then you must see where Venus is placed. That is the anchor of your all relationship or relationships that you have in your life. All through that is the anchor. Everything else, every other relationship, the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever, okay, will revolve around that planet. Even if it is Mars, still the rule applies. Even if it is Rahu, still the rule applies. Even if it is Shani, Saturn, still the same rule applies. That planet is the major stakeholder in your relationship and marriage. It defines what you need. That planet's basic nature doesn't define. That planet is the anchor. Now, how to use this in a chart? Now you know the planet to look at. Okay, I go very specific, guys. Okay, you know that. So let's assume. Okay, let's in our example, we are assuming that the birth is in Dwadashi. So the planet to be looked at is Mercury because it is ruled by Mercury. This is same in every chart. Okay, yours and mine same. So I was born on a specific date. Okay, so mine will be different. And if you are born on Dwadashi, so Mercury is your planet. So now that you know the planet Mercury in our example, let's take the next step. Look at the sign where Mercury is placed. The Rashi, not the house, the Rashi. Let's say Mercury is placed in Scorpio. So, who is the ruler of Scorpio? Mars. Vrishchik Rashi is ruled by Mars. So, what are you looking at your relationship, at your partner? In your partner, you are looking for an ally who is going to be with you in whatever confrontations, whatever to face the struggles in the life. You are looking as an ally. You are looking for an ally in your partner. If let's say this Mercury is placed in a Rashi owned by, let's say, Moon, so you are looking at a very deep emotional bonding with that person. If your Mercury is in Mercury sign itself, in Virgo or in Gemini, in Kanya or in Mithun Rashi. Why we are looking at Mercury? Because Mercury is the Tithi Lord. It is the owner of the Tithi, so Tithi Lord, which is the anchor of your relationship all through the life. So if Mercury is in Mercury's house itself, Mercury's Rashi itself, then you're looking for a friend in your partner. You want a lot of communication there. Even if it is a fighting, but communication has to go. Okay? Funny part. So communication, friendship, that element is very important for you if your Tithi Lord is in a Rashi owned by Mercury. If your Tithi Lord is in a Rashi owned by Jupiter, then you are looking at a person who is very fair in his or her dealing, broad-minded, benevolent, bit of spiritual as well, right? What do you think of Jupiter? Someone who does ethical stuff, follows a moral conduct, right? That sort of thing. So you are expecting that in a relationship. Similarly, you have to see who is the owner of the sign where your Tithi Lord is placed. That planet is what you are looking for. A person who has the natural significations of that planet. Now let's talk of the marriage. We spoke of the partner, now let's talk of the marriage. Very simple, guys. I'm going to give you a specific technique here. Very simple. You know that Tithi Lord is in this case Mercury. So look at Mercury and see who is the seventh Lord. Let's say seventh Lord happens to be Sun in your chart. In the chart you're looking at. Seventh Lord is his Sun. Example. So all you have to do is look from Mercury, that is the Tithi Lord, where Sun is placed. If it is at second house from Mercury, that means it is always the marriage is going to support you. It is supportive marriage. Always you can look for support. In second house, what we look at? Support, our resources. Okay. So that will be a very good support system for you. So, okay, now every house you look at. Third house, well, there's going to be a lot of conflicts probably. The house of Parakram. Okay. You'll be very strategic in the marriage. The way you look at marriage. Okay. So just use simple common sense. Okay. In Kendra or in quadrant houses, it's going to be good. Okay. If in our example, if Mercury, Tithi Lord, and if the seventh Lord, we are studying how seventh Lord and Tithi Lord are placed. So from Tithi Lord, look at the seventh Lord. In our example, Sun is the seventh Lord. So from Tithi Lord, seventh Lord, how they are placed from each other. Trinal and quadrant houses, that is Kona and Kendra houses, is obviously good. Other houses, well, it depends which house. If it is at 11th house, you are going to gain from the marriage relationship, and you are looking to gain also. What about 8th house? 8th house means lot of karmic debt you have to pay. You will pay through your nose, and that marriage has to end. If it is 8, if from Tithi Lord, the 7th Lord is 8, it's matter of time that marriage will be over, and the marriage is there at the first place, or that relationship is there at the first place because of some karmic debts you had to pay. 8th house opens our karmic debt, our past life karma, even this life karma. The fear factor that people have after doing a something wrong, which stays in our conscious mind because we've done it in this birth, for example, that fear is 8th house. So 8th house is the effect of any wrong doing, any wrong and bad karma. So if from Tithi Lord, the 7th Lord is at 8th house, it means that that marriage is there just to make you pay for something wrong you did in the past life. See how deep this can go, and how specific techniques can be used to go as deep as you can, understand it. This is astrology, guys. Not just philosophical mumbo jumbo. This is astrology. How many times have we seen the details of Panchanga and how to use it in the chart? It is not just a theory, guys. Panchanga tells everything. 75-80% analysis can be done only on the basis of Panchanga. Very powerful tool. Okay, cool. So that's it, guys. I think I've given you something very useful and important today. And as usual, if you want to hear more from me, just subscribe to my channel and ask me questions, guys. But please don't ask too many specific questions of your own chart. Okay. So thank you, guys.